Hi, I'm Frank. This is Austin. We are the rookie lap this week. That's all there is to it. So this week, they got all done with everything. It's all in the books. Nothing's changeable now. Nobody's got a second chance. They raced at Phoenix.
2025 is in the books. It's over with.
All said and done.
Whether you like what happened or not.
A lot of debate there.
Are you on the like what happened or the not?
Some not so much.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is what it is. But just because I don't like it, don't mean I don't like racing, don't like NASCAR. Some of the things didn't pan out the way I thought maybe they should or wish they should, I guess.
Yeah, first year that I'm a little bit more ready for the off season. I think I need a couple days to think over this and let it go.
A little reset?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might be,
One of the last messages you sent me,
yeah.
I realized that you weren't totally on board with everything that happened.
Yeah, and I probably wasn't the only one that sent that message in this country.
I'm sure.
But whatever, it is what it is.
You think all this? I think all this will definitely make them rethink their point system.
Well,
I know they already were. But
yeah, we already got confirmation that it was getting changed. I think this might definitely make them be swayed towards a certain format, because the last thing I heard is they still weren't sure. They had their three main options, but they weren't leaning any direction yet.
Definitely, this should have narrowed it down.
Yep. So, yeah, the three options were the ones we mentioned, the 3-3-4, where we do a 4-race final round, and then back to a 10-race chase or a 36-race format. I'm thinking that because of what happened, and from what I've heard in the last day from insiders, that this kind of knocked out the 3-3-4, and it's between 36 and the 10-race chase. And I think they're leaning towards the 10-race chase, which I am okay with. I'll say that.
Well, which would you prefer?
To start this, I was heavily just 36 or nothing else. The more that I've went throughout the year and heard different arguments, I'm probably 65% on a 36 race, and then 30 to 35 on the 10-race chase, just because I wasn't really barely alive for the chase, but from what I remember and who I know won, I doubt that there were many years back then of people saying that the champion was undeserving when Jimmy did his 5 in a row and Brad won.
You say that, but if you go back to the 36, Jeff would have had 7 championships.
Yeah, and I've heard that.
But that's one of the big arguments. That's one of the ones you hear over and over and over. Everybody's like, Jeff would have won 7.
Yeah.
Well,
but
you say that, but here's the thing.
How would they have raced?
How would they have raced if they had been still racing under the old point system thing? Right.
Yeah.
So you can't say that. I mean,
no.
Sounds good on paper, but it might not necessarily be so.
Yeah.
You play by the rules that are in front of you, and that's what Jimmy and Chad was real good at, and then it worked out well for them.
Yeah. So the thing about the 10-race chase that I do like and that I would miss from a 36-race format is the fact that there still is, at the end of the year, a select group that is recognized as these were the elite drivers of the year. These are the guys that are getting to go for it. I think that would be good for creating the stars, because these drivers can make this repeated years after, and then they can have the 10 races to still go for it. If you run good for 10 races in a row, I mean, it's not just one race. You ran good for 10 races, and hopefully with changes they make to get into that group for those 10 races, you had to run good or decent for the rest of the year. You don't have 25th in points that can come in and steal it. And so I feel like it would still give a good representation, but it would still allow some to be elevated above others and bring in sponsors that say, hey, my guy is in, what do they call them then? The Elite Eight or am I thinking?
Oh, God, I don't remember.
That's this playoff, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
But still, like, what was the chase? 10 or 12? I don't remember.
It started at 10, I believe. You know, you're going back to 04 when it started this thing. It's been through so many changes. I don't know that I can remember. I'd have to look that up.
Well,
but I think that also gives you the mulligan too for a race or two. That's if you know one of the other guys gets taken out.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with them, and everybody will have that that little extra.
And I still just think it would mean something to be able for the good guys to be able to say to their sponsors or to whoever, I was in this 10 drivers every year for the last 6 years. I've won the championship 3 years in a row or whatever, and that's because I performed over the last 10 races of the season. I didn't just steal the last one.
I wonder if anybody's done the math to see who would actually have won under that format.
This year?
Yeah.
From what I've heard, people are saying that Kyle Larson basically won regardless of whatever format you chose, except Winston Cup, which I think is the most irrelevant for this year because that discounts any stage points, which is a part of it these days.
Right.
But when you count full season stage points and all of that stuff, or the 10 race chase that it could have been, apparently Larson would have won all of them, I think. And the only other person that I think might have beat him or been close was Bell.
So with that being said, do you feel like the right person won the championship? Say what you think. Don't hold back now, honey.
Yeah, it depends on what the definition of right is, I guess. If we're saying objectively deserving, I think he deserves it. But sentimentally, that's not who the majority of people wanted. That's according to polls that were taken. And my biggest problem right now, I think, is the fact that this format, it took a guy that does deserve this championship and it has everybody fighting over it and making him look like undeserving or whatever the word would be because of how he won it. But he would have won it other ways, but because of this format, it's taking away the credibility that he deserves for what he did. Because everybody's, which it came down to, he won because of a green, white, checkered.
Right.
But even in other formats over multiple races, he still would have won, and we wouldn't have been able to just say it was just a green, white, checkered.
Yeah, but you could see the mood at the racetrack after he won it. It's like, really, I won this thing? I can't believe this actually happened. Like, maybe, and I don't want to put words in his mouth or nobody's, but it's almost like, I didn't deserve this.
Well,
I'm afraid that that's where we're at right now.
I mean, we had...
Everybody says, you play by the rules. So the rules were, you made it to the Final Four. Whoever's the best that day wins the championship. I mean, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Whoever does the best on that day.
Yeah.
By far, we know who did the best that day. Just the breaks didn't go his way.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the thing I sent you a few hours ago. Somebody on the internet puts together this model of every driver and how they would have finished if all 312 laps would have been their optimal lap time, including dirty air, clean air, tire degradation, everything, but no cautions. And Denny literally lapped the field.
Oh,
on that model.
I know I'm getting way off the subject here, but you brought that up. I was looking a little bit earlier and saw something that I found real interesting. You knew who had the second fastest lap of the weekend?
No.
Corey Hine. Out of everybody. And he was just point barely behind Denny. He would have been probably the only one to stay on the lead lap with Denny out of all three divisions.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. So there needs to be a little more discrepancy in the speed of every division also, I believe.
Yeah.
Let's get back to where NASCAR Cup Series is the fastest, Xfinity second fastest, and then trucks third. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't all need to run the same speed. I mean, when you go to a racetrack, you got a late model race, a street car race, a stock body race, and maybe a four-cylinder race. All those are a pretty big difference, you know. It's kind of what you want to see, in my opinion. But
and I know the people argue you don't need fast cars for good racing, and that's true.
that's
but
true.
this is supposed to be the biggest,
The
fastest
Elite Series.
And I mean, anybody that does not watch NASCAR but knows of NASCAR, what do they instantly say? They run 200 miles an hour, don't they?
Yep.
Little do they know those cars haven't ran 200 miles an hour in 10 or more years at this point. So I think, yes, we need to get back to that. But, yeah,
I didn't mean to get you that far off subject.
No,
I
you
just found that
mentioned-
really interesting.
them and his reaction, Kyle Larson after the race. Yes, we have champions that haven't won a race. We have champions that didn't finish on the lead lap but once back in the 70s and whatever. But
Yeah, Benny Parson, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But due to this format and the excitement it's supposed to cause, and I guess you can say yesterday it was excitement, just not the right kind.
It's manufactured, though.
Yeah. I know this isn't required, but it just doesn't feel right when he gets out and does an interview and says, yeah, it's crazy. Like, I didn't even lead a lap today, and I won the championship.
Yeah.
I know he doesn't have to lead a lap, but something about that just doesn't sound right. And
Yeah, no, not when you've had all but the 1 year that Ross won. I think you've had, you know, the champion here recently has won the race.
yeah, and if not second.
And Blaney was pissed that he didn't win the race that day.
Yeah.
You know, so
Ironic.
yeah, isn't that ironic?
I wish somebody, I haven't seen anybody ask him that question, but he did say that he tried to allow all the guys to race it out between themselves and that he only kind of would race them whenever they were by themselves. He wasn't trying to get in the middle of them. So I guess he gets credit for that.
Yeah. And we talk a little bit about the race. He wouldn't have won it if Kozlowski hadn't just went into the corner, I think, a little too hard. He had that race.
Yeah.
Because of strategy.
Just
And only because of strategy. I don't even know that he was in the top 10 all day, was he? Or maybe he did get there. I didn't watch him that close, to be honest.
Brad was about 18th or 20th the whole race from what I could tell.
Okay. So realistically, had Brad been in the chase, or you know, in the race to win the championship, he could have ran that out there all day and got up there and got him a second and been the champion.
I mean,
It's just a flawed system.
yeah. And
So let's hope with next year they'll do whatever they do is less flawed.
yeah, because every format has to have flaws. There's no such thing as a perfect points format.
I agree, but this one's pretty bad.
There has to be better ones.
Yeah.
So
And everybody keeps going back to well, in football, you can win all your regular season games and win everything till you get this ain't football. Get it out of your head. This ain't football. You got 30-something drivers out there and 30-something cars beating, pushing, shoving for 2.5, 3, 4 hours. It's a totally different sport. One has nothing to do with the other.
Yep. And I'll give the president of NASCAR credit. One of the Steves, I can't remember which one's. The president and the commissioner are both named Steve, so I can't remember which one is which. But they did their State of the Union, State of the Sport speech Friday afternoon, addressing everything that's going on. And he got up there and he said, you know, I'm a Giants fan, and I don't follow it, but I'm guessing they don't do very well. And he said, but if they ended up winning everything, you wouldn't hear a word from people complaining that they just stole it. Everybody would be cheering for, I guess, the underdog story or whatever. He was like, our NASCAR fans are not like that. But he said, that is okay. And I respect that he said that and acknowledges that.
Not for a championship. I mean, there's week to week. You want to see, you know, one of the guys who's got maybe 15 employees go out there and win a race. That's great to win a race. They're never going to win a championship.
No.
Things like that don't happen.
And
I mean, money rules the sport, but even in local racing, money can rule it.
Yeah.
It normally does, whether it's stock car racing, drag racing, go-karts, whatever. A good driver makes all the difference in the world, but if you got junk, you got junk. I mean,
and speaking of the underdog 15-employee team winning, that's one of my biggest problems with this format, with the winning you're in and all. When those guys win, we don't celebrate the fact that they just won. We complain that they just got into the playoffs, which I don't like, because whenever you have Ricky Stenhouse or Harrison Burton or Austin Dillon or whoever, no, the guys don't run great and a lot of their wins are on plate tracks or whatever, but we should still be able to be like, that's cool that they won. I'm happy to see the Wood brothers win. I'm happy to see that Ricky Stenhouse team just won when they only have like 5 or 10 employees on that car. They deserve that. That's super cool for them.
As opposed to the ones that's got 400.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big difference, and all the technology in the world, and these guys are just scraping, to make it to the race every week.
Yeah.
That is something special, but you're right. It's not special when all it is, he don't need to
we should go straight to, yes, but 34th place just made the playoffs. That's not right. And they don't get to celebrate that, or they don't get the praise from the fans that they should, I guess.
No, I guess the only thing they really gain out of it is financially.
Yeah.
Because they're going to get more for finishing higher in the point.
Yeah. Well, I guess I do want to start being a little more focused on this weekend. So
yeah, let's talk about some racing.
Yeah.
We're going to start with the Cup.
Well, I just want to start with Friday or Thursday, I guess.
Works for me.
We got a full 50-minute practice session on a regular, not oval, not road course or nothing like that. I thought that was really nice. It gave more track time, people to make adjustments, fans at the track to actually see the cars on track for more than just the race and their one-lap qualifying. And I think that just creates more energy around what's going on there, because you have way more going on. People are there to see the race cars. You're giving them the race cars.
Yeah.
And so.
And it's nice to have time to kind of tweak your car in after you're there. You can do all the sim work you want, but that's not the same as your butt sitting in that seat on that track going around making circles.
Yeah, and those 10 employee cars, they need more time to make these adjustments, because they're not showing up right on the money, because they don't have the tech that these bigger teams do.
Right.
So I think they're parity and all with these cars and everybody running the same speed and whatever, but I think you're doing a disservice to the smaller teams, because you're not giving them time to try to catch up in real life, because they can't catch up away from the track because they don't have what it takes to do that. And that might actually allow more of these guys to come back into being competitive, rather than seeing what we saw with the big three being the final 8 after the first couple years of Ross winning several races and Suarez and Kyle Busch won 3 races in the first year in that 8 car, and then they just got behind, I think.
Yeah, and that was one of his big complaints I've heard from him before. He needs more time to get the car right on the track.
Yeah. So,
and I'm sure he's not the only one that has that sentiment.
No. I think I remember Dale Jr. saying about a month or 2 ago that he heard rumors of them bringing more practice time back next year. So I guess let's just say we support that decision. So please do it, I guess. But speaking of Cup practice, where it started, I called you, giving you updates because you were having to do dinner or something, whatever. And what is it? Briscoe got a tire down. Bell got a tire down. AJ got a tire down.
I just kept getting tire text.
Hurt. Suarez.
I'm like,
Suarez
I got to turn this on and see what's going on.
Kyle Busch. Denny's got a vibration. Clutch problem. Briscoe's got a vibration. Larson scraped the wall. I think they had 4 or 5 red flags during that practice, which is crazy for a practice session. But I guess you probably expected that the tire situations would get fixed after that, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought so, and I've heard the chatter and all this about, well, it's not or not NASCAR's fault or not Goodyear's fault, that it's the, they keep saying drivers. It's definitely not the driver's fault. The driver doesn't put air in the tire.
Yeah.
It's crew chief, if anybody, I guess it would fall back on them that they run the tires too low. But I want to say something about that. Everybody keeps going, well, Goodyear made a good tire. The people just running the tire pressure too low. Here's the problem with that, with them saying that, and see if you agree at all, and maybe I'm just out in left field. But because these cars are so hard to tweak anything on, you really don't have much you can do to the car, right?
No.
You go out there to win a race. You don't go out there to run 14th. And some of the teams, they know that's what they're going to do.
Especially if you're not going for the
right, right. So these guys, they're putting their all in to win the race. So they're forced to do that. Mm-hmm. They're basically forced to have to run the tires lower than recommended air pressure to get any kind of adjustment or tweaks to the car. They just don't allow enough. There's not enough flexibility in being able to change things on the car. So yeah, here's the other side of that. Let's go to the second side of that. How many blowouts did they have in the Xfinity race? How many blowouts did they have in the truck race? I promise you, they're getting all they can out of those because they ran the same daggum time as the Cup cars did.
Yeah, and they're going for the same thing in their series. Heck, some of those guys are probably going harder because they're running for even smaller teams or they're trying to build their careers. They haven't made it yet.
Yeah, they probably don't have their setup just quite as tweaked either. So, yeah, I think some of this does fall back on NASCAR and Goodyear. Put a tire that give them some adjustment somewhere, or either give them a daggum tire that'll hold up no matter what. Unfortunately, I don't. There's a better answer than just saying, well, you can't let the tires down, so you all got to run out there and run. You know, heck, if they'd have started on pressure, it would have screwed the race up even more. So I don't know. There's an answer for that, and the answer wasn't just leave those tires on there knowing the guys were going to do it so they'd be able to be somewhat competitive. That wasn't the answer.
No, but I don't know because I also heard, I think Denny said it, I want to say Briscoe and Larson, Logano, they all said it. I could be wrong on one or two of those, but I definitely heard drivers saying that it was the teams. I think I even heard a crew chief say that it was the teams, the setup they brought. They just were running pressures too low, and we've seen it earlier this year. But I did hear Byron say that he really didn't understand what was going on with the tires, and he didn't say it was because of that, because he said he was confused as to, he didn't have any issue all day, and then his tire just randomly blew, and they didn't change anything.
So I didn't know if maybe they had dropped the pressure or did something on this car trying to make it a little better at the end. That's what they kind of played up to on TV, but you don't know that. I wasn't looking at the gauge.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I mean, what's the other answer? NASCAR goes around and checks air pressure in everybody's tires to make sure they're doing or Goodyear to make sure they're doing what they're doing?
Yeah, so I don't, because that was my theory. I figured it's at the end of the race, Byron does not have nobody has the car to compete with Denny. Denny's got this no matter what.
Yeah.
So we've got to try something or we're not going to win. So I figured they'd drop that pressure as low as they thought just could ever possibly work, and it didn't.
But I mean, it wasn't like the speed came in on the car, so it didn't obviously work.
Yeah. I don't remember how long that run was and if he had enough. I guess that was a 20-lap run.
It was significantly long.
But,
and Denny was still pulling out on him pretty good.
Yeah, so who knows, I guess. But speaking of checking the pressures and gauges and seeing if what they're running, I mean, it's like with the crew chief on MRN that they have help call in the race. He said, I can almost guarantee you every time that we have a tire failure and we have to report it to Goodyear, we don't give them the actual pressure that tire blew at. We're not going to tell them that. So they're not getting the truth from the teams anyway.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to give that up. So, like, I think Goodyear will typically recommend anywhere from 10 to 12 pounds in any given tire. And they're typically running anywhere between 8 and 10 pounds. And so I don't know what they do about that, but I guess
I just hate to see tires come into play that much on something, that heck, it affects people's careers. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
is Denny going to go out like Martin? Martin never had, and you know, as great a driver as Martin was, he's my age. He's in his 60s, and it's like, yeah, but he never won a championship.
yeah.
Is that where Denny's going to be? You got 60 wins. Should have been 61 yesterday, but
Yep.
you didn't win a championship, so that defines your career.
Yeah. I don't know, and I mean, honestly, the thing we haven't mentioned, this goes back to what we've talked about all year with these tires and them having to go softer and softer and softer. Quit putting it on Goodyear to fix your racing.
Exactly. Yeah, that was kind of my point before. Let's do something with the cars. Make the cars where you can change things and adjust them. And
Yeah, I mean, we can't, even if this is Goodyear's fault, if we want to say, it's not, because everyone is expecting them to solve our
I
problems.
guess they're saying, well, we're doing all this to make the cars safer. We're going to make the cars safer. So are they not making the cars as safe in the Xfinity and the Truck Series as they are in the Cup? Maybe they don't care about those guys. Come on, man. There's something that don't line here.
I guess Sawalich had his concussion this year and Zilish got hurt at Talladega, but I want to say that many more Cup drivers have gotten hurt in the last several years than Xfinity drivers.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had several guys go out with concussions. Kurt Busch's career got ended.
They're not running any faster than them, so yeah, let's look at the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
Make some changes.
Yep.
Let's get them back more like race cars. Like, hey, I can adjust this and tweak that, and change a little wedge in it. Go with a bunch of different spring rate or shocks or whatever they're not allowed to do. Free the cars up a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't make them quit looking like a buckboard out there running around the racetrack.
Yep. Well, so I guess I'll just tell you some of the things I took note here, and you can mention anything that you find particularly notable. I thought the short run speed that we saw out of Denny was very extraordinary. That's not typical out of anybody these days, I don't think. And he just kind of could do whatever he wanted. And at the beginning, though, I thought Byron had a long-run car that was going to be able to get to Denny because he ran him down and won that first stage.
Yeah, that's the way it played out then, but whatever little tweak they made or
Yeah,
whatever adjustment Denny made in the car.
They nailed that, I guess. But I thought that was interesting. And what about all the mechanical problems for Toyota? Do you think Denny was having that clutch issue, or was it in his head? Because, I mean, it never actually developed.
Well, then again, I'm not in the car with him. I don't know, but obviously he had some kind of a problem. But they did show his in-car one time, and it looked like everything was, when he was coming off pit road or sitting on pit road, and it looked like everything was functioning pretty well. But that, you get a feel for it, and it's hydraulic, so you can kind of feel how much pressure you're applying or where it's catching and releasing. And he said it wasn't. I got to believe him that it was. But I know they had an issue before, and they said basically all they did was bled it, and maybe they misspoke. But my thought process would be there, if I had a problem with a master and slave cylinder or something that wasn't working right, I'd replace them. Unless he just didn't want to go to maybe that would have put him on the tail. I don't know the whole story there, but I would be afraid not to replace them if I had some kind of an issue there before the race.
Yeah, I don't know. The bigger story for that, I think, is just the number of mechanical issues Toyota's had this year is embarrassing.
And him especially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I mean,
bad.
What can I think of? He had his clutch problem. Bubba went out with a throttle sensor issue or a fuel pump problem. I never got the exact answer.
As I understood, it had something to do with the ECM and all not communicating properly and telling the throttle position.
So he had
but they didn't elaborate either, so I don't know.
Last week, he and Briscoe blew up at Martinsville. So did Hertz, didn't he?
They didn't say he did, but that's what it looked like.
Yeah, and then at Kansas is when his power steering went out. At Kansas earlier this year, his clutch went out. He blew up at Texas. He blew up at Chicago. Bubba and Reddick and all of them, remember back at Pocono, all their brakes went out.
Yep.
That's not a typical top tier occurrence, I don't think, and I would hope that they clean that up for next year because.
Yeah, because I don't think, the other manufacturers had a few problems along the way, but nothing like that.
Yeah, I think the Fords might have had issues with that rubber build-up fires and, a couple tires going out when the tire wear was real bad at a couple tracks. But the only guy that I remember really having issues with Ford is when Blaney had those 3 races in a row when he blew up earlier in the season.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he did.
But that was only Blaney, and they got that issue fixed, and it never happened again.
Yeah.
And then, what else? There's Chevy. I don't remember Chevy really having any issues. So, yeah, I think mechanically Toyota TRD needs to clean that up for next season because that's just not a good look. And, it didn't happen yesterday, but what if that would have cost Denny the championship? The outlash on them, I couldn't imagine what that would have been like. But
yeah, the engine blowing up I don't understand. I think they make them run those engines twice, but still no more horsepower than they're making right now. They should be pretty durable, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no
parts, mechanical parts, anything can break. But when it's redundant, you go to figure out what the problem is and solve it.
Yeah.
And maybe it was a different part breaking every time. Like I say, I do not know. They didn't call me and say, hey, Frank, we broke cam this week, or we burned piston or whatever. But you try to fix those problems before they happen.
Yeah. Well,
So what about the race itself? Do you think that the race itself played out good other than what happened at the end? I believe everybody out there did that, especially the guys that was running for the championship and maybe 3 or 4 others I can think of. I think they were really up on the wheel getting after it from what I saw.
Yeah, I guess there was a lot of positions changing all around. I guess you'd have to say it was a decent race. I don't think you could say it was a bad race. Before the ending, though, and taking out the story behind Denny or the championship, I think that would not have been one of the better races of the year. But I think it would have been.
No, but for Phoenix, I think, the passing that went on and the people trying to make moves and just the racing in general, I think for Phoenix was better than I thought it was going to be, honestly.
Which they've elevated just as a track this season, because did you know that 2 of the 3 closest finishes in Phoenix track history were both the races this year?
Really? No, I didn't know.
Yeah, because Denny, I don't know if you remember back when Bell won 3 in a row this year, Denny photo finished him at Phoenix for one of those. Yeah. And then right here this weekend with Blaney and Keselowski. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was decent, but dang, I gotta say, I feel so bad for AJ.
Oh Lord,
the dude had such a hard hit last weekend, and he's done. He comes here, goes down a tire in practice, gets that fixed, comes back on the track, destroys the wall again. Yeah. I don't think they even qualified the next day.
No, they didn't.
And then runs the race. And
you heard what he had to say about it, didn't you?
No.
He's just ready for it to be over. Yeah. Ready for this season to be done.
Yeah, because he tore the wall down again in the race. He's hit the wall hard.
Well, he said that before the race.
Yeah.
So I can imagine his sentiments after that.
Yeah, Kyle Busch said that AJ is one of the most underrated drivers on that track for how good he is. I just feel bad. And we've seen him run very good at times in that car, in a car that probably shouldn't be running very great. But he's had top 10 speed at a few different tracks that you wouldn't expect this year. So I just hope they clean that up for him because he deserves better. But it just makes me remember, I saw an interview with him probably about a month ago. He was talking about his affiliation with Kyle and Austin Dillon and his teammate Ty Dillon or whatever. He said they walked in the hauler after practice one day of struggling like usual and missing a little speed. And Kyle said, Kyle asked AJ, he was like, so what are you fighting with? And AJ was like, anxiety, depression, heartbreak, and a little bit of handling.
Yeah, that sounds like an AJ answer, doesn't it?
And Kyle,
He's a pretty cool guy, man.
Yeah.
I like his interviews. I like his energy. It's just, but then again, when he's down, you can tell too, man. This
Yeah,
ain't
he
going
wears
my
his
way.
heart on his sleeve.
No doubt, yeah.
And I thought it was funny too, because Kyle told him, he was like, well, you seem to be handling it pretty well. And because Kyle's been striking all the same things, honestly. And AJ was like, well, you know, I've had many more years of practice than you have.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just feel bad for him.
Good answer.
What about Briscoe's story for the weekend? We mentioned the tire down in practice. He didn't get to run barely anything. Didn't know what the car was going to do. Laid down a bad lap in qualifying. Started 12th while the other three were 1, 2, 3. Starts making his way forward. Tire goes down.
Yeah.
To the back.
Yeah, his graph was up and down and up and down, and I think sometimes backwards. And Lord, yeah.
I think that was...
He's out. He's in. He's out. He's got a chance. No, he's out again. Yeah, good God.
I think that race was a symbol of Chase Briscoe's entire career, of all the fighting that he has done to get to where he's at, and that he should never have made it here because of just not having the money and all that. But he's fought, and he kept coming back and making something out of it, whether he was supposed to or not. And I mean, the fact that he got to the front one time, blew another tire, went down a lap, got his lap back, and came back to the front, and I think he got up to second. And it was like, is he going to steal this thing?
Yeah.
And then I forget what shuffled him back. Was it 4 tires on him too?
I think that's what wound up being the thing that hurt him there at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know who all got 4 and 2 at the end. It was all over the place, so I couldn't really tell.
I would guess Denny was the first on 4, but I remember Briscoe was about 5 or 8 cars behind him on the restart.
Yeah, and of course, here's the thing there too. When they fire on the restarts there, you got people panning out 5, 6, 7 wide. If you're in the wrong line, man, you can lose. It's like a drafting track. You can lose 10 or 12 spots.
Yeah.
In a hurry.
Yeah, I mean, Bell picked up 7 on lap 1 of the race.
Yeah, it's just picking that right line. You know, basically what Denny didn't.
Yeah, that was
what cost him at the end of the race when he went down and Joey made that little move. And I'm not saying Joey did anything wrong. He was racing his race. That just killed his momentum, and it was over at that point.
Yep.
There was nowhere he couldn't get in a line good enough to make a good run, because I believe had he got past at that point, we might be talking about a different champion today.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was about even with Larson.
And everybody was thinking, what'd you say? Heim 2.0.
Yeah.
And I really thought it was going to happen when they fired off, but then, yeah, it just didn't pan out. Larson's being on the outside just worked out well for him. And then I'll be honest now, when they fired, Larson drove in for everything he was worth, because he was way up closer to the wall, and I'm thinking, boy, he's fixing to smack this thing, or he's going to get in some trash, and his car's going to start sliding, but he drove his butt off to win it. He really did. He was on the wheel then.
Well, if there's one thing, we know we can expect that from him.
Yeah.
But thanks to Joey for ruining another year, I guess. At least it wasn't him winning this time.
Yeah. But no, and back to that, Joey didn't do nothing wrong at that point during the race. He just was running his race. It wasn't like he slammed the door or snatched down in front of him. It's just where he went trying to make his move. And things didn't play out for Denny there.
Yeah. Have they always been so strategic and meticulous before that I've not known about? But I don't know if you saw, they said that like Denny's crew literally had 25 guys out there for 2.5 hours the other night or the other morning, either way, with cleaning supplies and tools and all, scraping every piece of rubber out of that box that had ever been laid down in those years there, so that he could have the perfect, just stickiest everything. Is that new? I just can't believe they go to
it's
that
not new.
extent.
But if you'd have seen Heim's truck Friday night when he was trying to leave the pits, it was just he could not give it hardly any throttle, and it spin and spin and spin.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it was just like they knew they had to do something. So the best thing is, strip it down to the cement and start fresh with it. Because it was horrible. I felt bad for Heim trying to leave the pits, because here you are, you got this great starting spot to take off from, and it was his tire just blazed up immediately as soon as he touched the throttle. So maybe not on them doing that all the time, but if I'd have been them, we would have been scrubbing it and trying to bring some VHT in or do
crazy
something.
the extent that they go to with that stuff. I don't think most people would even think of something like that. And I mean, I think it worked, because mentioning Briscoe, when he started in 12th, he had worked his way up to about 10th for the first caution, and he picked up 4 or 5 spots off pit road, and I would be willing to bet it's because of the launch he was able to get out of that box.
Yeah.
I guess mentioning the cautions, I just have to throw it in like I have been. Again, another week of stage breaks being 10 to 15 laps. That's ridiculous.
You gotta hit that pet peeve, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't blame you. Yeah.
Hope one day that somebody will hear it, somebody that can do something about it. But I mean, you just can't.
Stop counting laps.
Race is only 312 miles to begin with. One of the shortest races of the year, and you're going to waste 20, 30 laps under stage cautions. That's almost 10% of the race for a stage break. That's just whatever. I don't know if there's any other. Mention Briscoe, he lost the tire. Denny and them, I mean, they had that low left rear just along with Larson. At one point, both got dropped back to 11th and 18th. Denny recovered and still looked like he was going to win it. Larson had a tire go down after that, came back from the lap down to win the thing, of course. Seeing if I got anything else.
Kyle had a good race.
Yeah. Stole him one on 2 tires.
I think the only car that really might, even during the race, well, I don't know, though. I was going to say Byron is probably the only one that I thought might have had a shot, but had things went better for Briscoe, he probably would have too.
Yeah, we never got to see what Briscoe
his
had.
fastest lap time was not that far off.
Yeah, and he was in dirty air the entire time.
Yeah, so yeah. You had 2, because probably the worst car out there out of the playoff guys had to be Larson, and then he turns around and wins the damn thing.
Yep.
Whatever. That's the name of the game. Be at the right place at the right time. But hopefully that'll change next year. Please.
Yeah. Hey, how about
for next year?
Larson winning it? I don't know if you've seen this. It's on X. Bubba Wallace posted in 2023, 2 years ago, he reposted Kyle Larson talking about iRacing setups on a simulator or something. And he said, and I quote, "Here is your 2025 NASCAR Cup Series champion."
Huh.
People been bringing that back up. You want to give us any hint on 26 there, Bubba?
Yeah.
He posted that 2 years ago.
Wow.
That's just what a coincidence.
Well, wait a minute. I guess we didn't give enough props to Blaney for winning the race. So
oh yeah.
That was
Ryan
the most races he's ever won in the Cup Series in a year. So
4 wins.
And I think probably a chance that he could have won 3 or 4 more.
Oh yeah.
Had a good enough car through the year to do it. So
So
let's back up on that one too, though. And so now that we got here, everybody kept saying if Blaney makes it, he's going to win the race, and he's going to be the champion.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't win the race because it was the best car this time. So yeah, but he would have won the championship. It's just so many twists and turns. Manufactured, given that, but
no though. Because I thought Blaney had a very good car, and he
wasn't with Denny, but he was probably better than most of the rest.
I just wonder, again, because he didn't want to get in between all of them, how hard he was pushing to try and actually run against that.
Yeah, that could be.
And also, because he wasn't their champion guy, they probably didn't mainly focus on his car versus Joey or somebody. I don't know. But only one spot, if he had gotten Byron at Martinsville, he would be a 2-time champion.
Yep. And then it would have been Joey Ryan, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
But it's not.
Mentioning that we're leaving Phoenix and leaving the one race format.
So it don't matter that it's at Homestead next year. Everybody's saying,
No.
"Oh, it's a Homestead." Either way.
Yep.
Yeah. Now that won't really matter so much.
No, and I just mentioning going Joey Ryan. I think that this was their last chance for a championship for many years.
You think so? Even with Ryan?
No, I think Ryan could pull it off, and I would not be shocked. But
Joey's got to step it up a notch.
yeah, I think that is their only shot. And if Ryan has any issues, I don't see Penske winning championships for a long time, because we talk about him being the big three, but getting rid of Blaney, Penske is not anywhere near the other two. Blaney is the only thing that competes from that team week in and week out. I mean, Joey's mid-pack a lot of weeks, back of half of the top 10, and Cindric is the same or worse.
Yeah.
But
Can't disagree with that.
yeah, I just want to tell you one more post I saw that I just thought was the best way to put this format and with what happened to Larson and all. Somebody said, you couldn't have told, they said, if we go back to February and to Daytona, and you tell somebody the guy who is going to score the most points for the whole season and is going to win the championship, but because of circumstances is going to make it look like a fluke, you couldn't tell a better lie. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of how it is. Yeah, it's down and dirty, exactly what it was.
yeah.
And it kind of almost makes you feel bad for Larson. It's like, well, you didn't really, and he really did.
Yeah.
He did what it took to get there.
And I don't know about you, but that shocks me. We talked about how off they were for so many races. You got won in 24 races, but he still got the most points.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have.
And yes, they were off, but off for him compared to off for some other people. Maybe maybe we don't look at him finishing like 5th or 6th or 4th and say, oh, he had a good day.
Mm-hmm. That's true, but I want to say for a stretch of 15 races or so, they only scored like 3 top 10s. It was something really bad.
Yeah.
So I don't. It shocks me, and he only got the most points because Byron was outpointing him until what happened to him happened. So
right.
I mean, that could have easily swung. I guess let's talk about Xfinity. First off,
do I have to?
I gotta say bye to Xfinity. I think that's gotta be one of the best premier sponsors that any NASCAR series has ever had. They put so much into that series and promoting it, giving them better technology, just in engaging with the fans. They've done so much, and I honestly am a little sad to see them go. They're not completely out. They're still going to be a part of some car sponsors, and they're one of the premier sponsors for Cup, but
yeah,
they did a lot. And how about them for what do you think about the whole final stage 110 laps commercial?
Oh, they could have done that. Yeah, they could have done that a whole lot more. I understand that costs a lot, and you just can't do that. But that was special. Yeah, that was nice. It would have been nicer if the race was better.
Yeah,
but
they can't control.
They don't control that. No, I agree with you 100%. Everybody might have heard fastest Xfinity Mobile one too many times, but still.
Yeah. One of the best lines.
I was going to say, it got to be so funny that you expected to hear it. Now you're just kind of waiting. When's he going to say it? When's he going to say it?
Yep.
So it was cool. But yeah, they did do a lot. They have done a lot.
So
where's all their sponsorship going now?
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
No, I mean Xfinity. Who?
I think they're sponsoring the 2311 cars, and then, like I said, Premier for Cup.
Okay.
But Speaking of the fastest Xfinity Mobile, I want to let you know, Parker Kligerman actually posted the money, the exact amount on how much you get for saying it. Did you remember?
$600.
$600 if you say it, and $1,000 if you say it in Victory Lane. So Connor Zilish made bank. Because I think he said it somewhere around 100 times this year.
Yeah.
And I would have bet a lot of those were in Victory Lane.
Yeah.
So you think he probably made at least $80,000 on saying his fastest Xfinity Mobile?
I'd have had it tattooed to my forehead, buddy.
Yeah.
Can you see this?
You
See
can't
what
blame
this
them
is? Yeah.
for saying it when you hear that part.
Yeah, no doubt.
I would have said it more than him. But anyway, thanks to Xfinity.
Everybody would say, "What's wrong with that boy? He got a tick or something? Faster than him, faster than him." Yeah.
Yeah. It's cold money falling out of the sky. I love it.
No doubt. Cool.
But,
yeah, I did see that. I didn't know if it was right or not, but I
mean,
guess if he put it on there, it must be.
Yeah, I would think so.
He's got the inside scoop.
For the race though, what about Sieg? Well, I guess we mentioned Mayer got suspended. Good call.
Good call. That's exactly how that should have played out. He needed a vacation and he got one.
Yep. But Sieg, I was so excited for that opportunity that's the best car he's ever had the opportunity to get in.
I don't think the car was right at the first of the race, but they got it good. They got the car good. He started running real good, and then good night. Woo, took the whole back end of that car off. That was a lick.
Yeah, Eckes, I mean, from what I heard, it didn't look good for what he did.
Yeah.
Did you think it was intentional or just what?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't say. I'm not going to throw somebody in the boat.
Well, I'm going to
I don't know.
I don't know if you saw, but Eckes got on the internet and posted after the race an apology to those guys, and he said I just a stupid move. I didn't mean it.
Okay.
So, and he had a talk.
I hope that's accurate.
He and Sieg had a talk after the race, and everybody, I couldn't watch it, of course, but everybody in the comments said Sieg was just being a class act over it. So,
yeah.
Apparently he let it go, but yeah, just got destroyed. And mentioned how the car was off. The funniest part to me was that typically in his original car, he's still competitive for a top 10 just about every week. But his brother, Kyle Sieg, is normally in the 20s.
Yeah.
Did you notice
that
Kyle was in the top 10?
He ran ahead of him for a while there.
For a lot of it.
Yeah.
I was laughing at that when I saw it. I was like, what are the chances?
Yeah, that just tells you they got some good, hard-working, determined people over there on that team. They've got a good crew together.
Yeah.
Just think what they could do with more money and a few more people.
Yeah. Trying to look here if I have any other notable stuff before we just talk about their championship stuff, which I think is all the other stuff I have written. No, actually, did you hear about Tommy Joe Martins?
What did I miss there?
The team owner for Alpha Prime Racing, he had an altercation with his crew chief after the race. They got into it in the pit box.
No, I didn't know that. What happened?
He was mad because I couldn't really decode the whole story, but something about, which I didn't know that they still allowed the smaller teams to buy sets of tires off of the bigger teams, but apparently that still goes on.
Yeah.
But apparently his crew chief didn't tell Tommy that they didn't have a brand new set or something and that they had to run old tires. And Tommy was just really mad because he was like, dude, you would have told me, I would have went down there and bought a set. That's all you had to do was let me know. And so they got into
it
over that. Yeah, I just never heard of a crew chief and a team owner fighting.
Cool.
I guess it shows he's passionate. But yeah, their championship, Connor Zilish, taking out the storylines and sentimental value with Denny and his dad and all that. I mean, this was the biggest robbery of the weekend by far. I think that's undebatable, isn't it?
Yeah. So you have one day that just don't go really, really good for you out of the last, Well, he had his couple problems the other weeks, but he was still fast.
Yeah, I got it written, all his stuff right
you pretty
here.
much dominate everything in the series, and the things that you weren't the best at, your teammate was.
Here's all the stats I have written. Zilish, 10 wins out of 33 total races. The best rookie ever and the best of the season. 20 top fives, best of the season, and the longest streak ever of 18 in a row. 23 top tens, best of the season. 8 poles, best of the season. 1,000 plus laps led, second behind Allgaier by just a couple, not many. Average finish of 8th, best of the season. And let's see, all he gets for all of that is Rookie of the Year, and he might get the most popular driver.
Give that boy a ham sandwich. That's all he deserves.
Yeah.
Yeah, this system is flawed.
Wow. Let me just go ahead and tell you why I got him here. Jesse Love, 2 wins, 9 top fives, not even half as many as Zilish. 22 top tens, about the same amount, honestly. 297 laps led, about a quarter as many. Average finish of 11th, which is about 3 spots behind. And one thing I'll say for Jesse, he played the system. He deserves credit for himself for the best drive of his career to this point, but it's not right.
Yeah, I mean, he hit it right for one race, that's all.
Yeah, and I was shocked with them because I don't know if you noticed, but he was bad. They dropped back to outside the top 10 to start the race.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what they got changed on that car because that was a huge shift.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking some of that was the track coming to them, you know, after it rubbered in and all.
That might be true.
Had a lot to do with that. It just seemed like that's kind of the way that played out. But, I mean, all the juniors' cars just didn't hit it. They didn't get everything right this weekend, this past weekend, and it cost them.
Yeah. But even just another modification for this that I noticed, and this worked for Denny too. Why, if we're doing stage races now, we're doing stages, stage points matter all year. Why don't they matter just because you're in the championship 4 and it's the final race? You want to talk about, we're crediting guys for running good the whole race, not just where they finish. If you give Denny his stage points, he's your champion. If you give Connor Zilish his stage points, he's your champion. He would have tied with Justin Allgaier, actually, and he would have won the tiebreaker. So, and even if he wouldn't have won, Allgaier is definitely the next best. So, that's, I mean, just another problem that I don't understand. Why are we not even going to count their stage points? And why are we resetting them to 0? If you give Connor his playoff points that he earned for the year and everybody, still, that, honestly, I don't know that I would completely mind, unless some freak thing happened, but I don't know that I would completely mind if they did that, something like that, because you'd still have Zilish. He would have came into this race with a huge point lead because of his season that he earned.
Yeah.
And it would have taken him wrecking out to lose that championship still, which even in the full race, you still had guys that was like, what, Jimmy needs to run 25th to win this championship. So still, if you just give them the points that they earned for the year and don't put them at 0, and you count their stage points, that still would maybe even be a fair race because he still gets the gap that he's earned over the competition for the season. But that's just...
Well, it's going to change next year. A change is a-coming. We hope it's going to be for the better.
I guess the one thing...
But that don't help Zilish because he was crushed, buddy.
Yeah.
He sat down by his car and you could just see it in him. He was crushed. It's like a beaten man. It's like they took all his wins away from him, all his poles away. Like they took everything that he accomplished this year and just threw it out the window.
Yep.
Is what you could see sitting there beside his car. And I don't know a better way to describe it. It's just like everything he accomplished this year and everything he had done up to this point, non-existent. And that's a hard thing.
It's like he said earlier this week, he really just wanted to go and finish this off for his guys and for himself because he knows he's going to the Cup Series and he's not going to be doing this again.
Yeah.
He's got a hard road ahead. He knows that, and he wanted to be able to live this while he still can.
Yep.
And they took that. But I guess you give Junior credit for giving them equal cars. Did you see him and Allgaier tied on their qualifying lap?
Oh yeah, dead tied.
So that was funny.
And their other guy just
and then they tied in the points for the race too. So that's funny. But
other guy just couldn't hang in there with them. That seems to be a trend there.
Normal thing. Speaking of Zilish and what he accomplished, though, right here we'll give him his credit. I saw some headlines and stuff like this. Do you think that he could be one of or the biggest prospect ever?
Yeah, I mean, yes. There's been some other really, really good drivers, but he's up there on the list.
That's why it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just along with that, I was kind of thinking back to a Jeff Gordon or an Earnhardt or whatever. Just if he's able to continue this over the years, I wonder if he can finally be that next guy to become bigger than NASCAR again.
It's gonna be hard to do in the car he's going in.
Yep.
That's
the one
problem.
thing that worries me.
If he busts out there and has a really good season and wins some races in that car next year, then he's bigger than the sport.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that they've got all the road course wins, but that's just what it is.
Yep.
Other than that, their team moles out a win or two on the other tracks a year.
Yeah.
We'll see. Next year will be exciting.
Well, do you expect him to be stuck at Trackhouse for the rest of his career? Or do you think he'll get picked up by Hendrick at some point down the road? I just can't imagine Hendrick would let that go for the rest of his career.
The drivers aren't old enough to be out anytime soon, though, unless you're just going to bump somebody. You think they're going to bump Bowman? Who else would they bump? They're not going to bump Larson. They're not going to bump Chase.
Yeah.
They're not going to bump Byron.
But I mean, comparatively still.
I mean, if it was my car, I'd rather have him in there than Bowman.
Yeah, I'm
sorry, but
they're still young. But I mean, just for career-wise, they'll still probably be out 10 years earlier than Zilish will. So I would just imagine they have to pick him up when they have an availability.
Yeah, I guess. But
and if they took Corey Day over him at some point, sorry, but
you got two prospects right now that I would bump a pretty good driver for.
Yeah,
I would take somebody out that had wins and had done decent. That just I didn't consider the top tier driver. I would swap them.
Yeah.
And like I say, and being quite honest, Bowman's the one right now. I would take him out.
Yep. I mean,
Zilish would be in that car next year.
Yep.
If it was something that I could make happen.
Yeah.
And Bowman would have to go find a ride like what Zilish is getting or something until he can prove that he's the driver that they thought he was.
Yeah.
He hasn't done it.
Beyond the performance, the class act that Connor Zilish is just insane to me. I guess you see him as a 19-year-old, but if you're like me and you close your eyes and you listen to him, he's not a 19-year-old. He sounds like somebody that's been doing this. He sounds like maybe a William Byron or somebody that's just, he never is disrespectful towards people. but he's just super classy. I mean, that's the best word I can give it. They were interviewing him in his conference after getting that championship taken. And, I mean, he's just still in there talking. Yeah, I'm happy for Jesse. I mean, it's cool for him. And, yes, it sucks for us and my guys. But I told him that we still did what we did regardless of what happens today. And in the middle of all of this, he stops his interview and just straight up says, I'm sorry, I need to lighten up. And he gets some more positive attitude and just tries to pick his head up. I mean, I wouldn't do that if I was him. I can promise you.
Yeah, that had to be well, I know it was tough because, like I say, you could see it in him when he was sitting by his car.
Yeah. And I couldn't imagine if you put 19-year-old Kyle Busch in that situation. You think...
Rob, that was Rob. You hear me? This whole system sucks. Everybody sucks.
You
suck.
left out
You
some
suck.
beats.
You suck. Yeah, I can see that, boy. Yeah.
Yeah, so the maturity in Connor Zilish is just incredible to me. And that's just another reason of why I think he can become a star.
Yeah. Yeah, let's hope that maybe Trackhouse can up their game just a little bit. And, you know, we know they got the road course thing down.
Yeah.
And that'll be a heck of a deal with them two out there running.
Yep.
That's going to be worth watching. Just take everybody else off the track and let them have a go at it.
Yeah. Yeah, it will be. But I guess the only other thing I got written down here for that is not that we care for it or approve or whatever, but Eric Almirola gets the Owners' Championship for Joe Gibbs.
Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Yeah.
I'll say I'm happy for Joe's son and just the story behind that, beyond that, no. And yeah, no. JRM takes in 3 cars, does not win it, doesn't win the Owners' Championship. Quapple gets 13th, and one other thing, our boy Butterbean, 19th.
Yeah.
Okay run. Did you see what happened to him on the last lap?
Speed at times. No, I didn't.
All right.
I was too much concentrating on what was going on up
Yeah.
front, but he did have some speed at times. Let's see, he run a best lap of a 28.97, which puts him in there with. And not some great drivers, honestly.
Well,
Austin Hill was 86.
Well, he was never very good.
No.
For the night. But anyway, let me tell you, on the last
Zillis
lap.
was a 42, so yeah, he was a good bit off there.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
On the last lap of the race, there was some drama. Apparently, his team and the 44 team had some words on pit road after the race because the 44 said that to make the top 20 in points was an increase of $75,000 for their team. Yeah. And they're a small team, so that's a lot for them. So they moved Butterbean right on out the way and took that spot because they needed it on the last lap. And, yeah, they had a talk after the race about that.
Well, that's the one that clipped him last week.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. They said after running into him last week, they moved him out the way for that spot this week. Huh. And so, I mean, I get it. It's $75,000, and he didn't lose no more than that spot, I guess. But like I posted on the internet, you just can't justify doing that to the man Butterbean. I mean, I get it if it's somebody else, but it's Butterbean.
Yeah. You
can't do that to him. But whatever, they did. So they get $75,000 more. That's it. You want to go to the trucks?
Sure. Let's talk about some of that. What did happen and what could have happened?
Well, to start with, Lane, when going for the Owners' Championship, gets a huge penalty, has to do a pass-through, lose crew chief, go to the back, all that stuff. But he recovered pretty well, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, a good chance he could have won that race.
Yeah, he was looking for an Owners' Championship until, how about your boy Mozak 81 truck.
Not my boy.
Yeah. Any coincidence that that's Tyler Ankram's teammate?
Isn't that something? Didn't they had a conversation about that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought there was a little something going on there. Hey boy, come on here, let's have a talk.
Yeah.
What kind of games are you playing?
Well, he got took to the hauler after the race, so at least NASCAR addressed it, I guess.
I'd like to have been a fly on that wall.
But
See if they had enough nerve to tell him what's true.
mentioning Ankrum, I just had to bring this up to you because I know one of your biggest pet peeves when they talk or announce or anything. Before the race started, he qualified 21st, I believe, or 23rd, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it was 20 something.
And I think it was 21st. And
That sounds right.
starting
He started, let's see, it says right here, 21st, yep.
right behind two of his teammates. And he said on his interview, he said, yeah, I just went straight to my teammates and I found him. I grabbed him. I said, hey, guys, just so y'all know, we're going 3 wide on this restart. And I know that you hate it when they call the start of the race a restart because it was before the race.
Yeah.
So
it is not a restart. It is a start of the race. That just don't sit right with me. Whatever.
there you can add
They've
that
been doing
on
it
your list
forever.
for Ankrum.
Even the big announcers do the same thing. There's nothing about it.
Yeah, but even prior to their race too, apparently Corey Heim was leaking air in his right rear and they were having issues there. So, like you said, mentioning what could have been, at least that story didn't develop, but they had a great start. Got Sutton in the wall on lap 1.
Yeah.
And then Honeycutt gets that start violation. And how about him? That boy was on the wheel.
He was on the wheel. He got up to, 7th or 8th or something, pretty quick, honestly. And then he kind of I think his tires were done at that point. He done run them to death.
Yeah, but from the back, he was driving.
But another team that only has, I think they said 14 full-time employees. And
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, he got back to 7th in stage 1. Corey Heim won it. Majeski 3rd. Ankrum 14th. And Riggs had worked his way back up to 17th. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, from almost being a lap down because of that penalty.
Yeah.
But when he got behind 25 seconds back of the leaders or whatever, and he kept it there the whole time. He even gained a little bit at times. So the truck was there. It's just things didn't work out quite right for him.
Yeah. And, so I don't know that they really had much going on for that whole race. Besides, we got to lap 115. That's when the wrecking kind of started. And Tyler Ankrum, along with the other 3, stayed out. And, that's the first time the entire race he was in the top 10. He got up to 8th place.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but that call right there, only 8 trucks stayed out on old tires, including all 4 of the championship guys. I don't know about you, but if I'm Majeski, if I'm Ankrum, if I'm Honeycutt, and I'm trying to beat Corey Heim, who has been faster than me the whole race, the whole year, I'm not staying on his strategy and keeping the exact same tires and just saying, well, I hope a miracle happens this time. I'm coming in, getting new tires and going after him with a tire advantage and hoping that that's enough to overcome it.
Yep. I don't understand it. Keep doing the same thing, you keep getting the same results, don't you?
I think that's what they call insanity.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look, Riggs was the first one smart enough to come in and get 4 new ones, restarted 9th, and within a lap was back up to 4th place.
Yeah.
And then he went on to take the lead.
No, they did what?
Yeah, with new tires over the fastest.
You mean new tires are faster than old tires?
It's like, that might have been something worth trying. But
what's wrong with them, boy? I know they're getting paid decent. Well, I hope they are. They're a crew chief, so you would think that they're on the higher echelon of the pay scale there in the company.
Yeah, I really would like to know.
Make some better decisions, guys.
But I will say they talked to Majeski's crew chief under the red flag during all that wrecking going on, and he just sounded like he gave up. I mean, he literally was just like, yeah, I mean, we don't really have a shot.
He's been whipping us all year. We're just going to let him keep beating us.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what he said. And I was like, dude, it's not over. And you have Ty Majeski who just did this last year in the truck. Why are you giving up?
Yeah.
That's not the leader that you're supposed to be. And so, I don't know. Maybe that played into the decisions they were making. But I think that's about it until we come down to Corey Heim takes 4 tires, restarts 10th like we said with Denny. And did you think he was done at that point?
Oh, I have my doubts. Yeah, that was.
I was worried.
I was probably 90% counting him out.
Yeah.
Because things had to work just right. Somebody not make the wrong move, or I honestly thought he'd wind up in a wreck.
Yep.
I thought he would push so hard and somebody jump out in front of him, and that he would be hard as he could go, and it was just going to be over for him. Honestly, that's what I thought would happen, but it played out just perfect.
But instead, he takes them 7, almost 8 wide, and goes from 10th to 2nd.
Yeah, that's
Is that the move of the year?
That? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yes, it was.
Yeah, that's insane. I just couldn't. That's crazy. And then, of course, they have about 4 trucks wreck after trying to do all that. Which, mentioning on that restart, they had Cole Butcher restarting on the front row. Go ahead and say it. Who?
Yeah.
I don't think it should be allowed. This is, from what I know, the kid's 2nd race ever. You're putting him on the front row on completely worn out old tires.
Had I
championship
been
race.
his crew chief, I definitely wouldn't have done that. That was a poor decision on their part.
You go green and he wrecked. I mean, he's out there to gain experience, make laps, not for whatever they're going for. And it's not the only time, because the reason I remember his name and that it's his 2nd race is because he ran Bristol. And guess what they did at Bristol? They kept him out on old tires and put him in the lead on a restart.
I guess they just want TV time. I don't know. I don't know their whole motive there. But
yeah. I've never seen
not a good look.
Any other crew chief do that with somebody that's never raced in the series before. And that's an interesting call, I guess. But anyway, so Heim 10 to 2nd, and I have his stats right here, like I did for the other ones.
Yeah.
For Connor. 23 stage wins in the year, the most of all series all time in a year. 41 total in his career, the most in trucks. He led at all 25 races of the year. First time ever to do that in a series, any NASCAR series. Led most laps in a season at 1,627. Led over 100. He led exactly 100 at Phoenix. 12 wins out of 25 races. 19 top 5s out of 25 races. The best in truck history. 4 perfect races of sweeping all 3 stages and the fastest lap, including Friday night was a perfect race for him. And after accomplishing all of that, he does not have a ride for next year. Not full time anyway.
Yeah.
That's just wrong. But we mentioned he was supposed to be running part-time for Sam Hunt. Well, they just announced Harrison Burton and Daniel Dye to run full-time in their cars next year. So I guess they wrote him off. So as far as I know, he will be starting some races for 2311, and that is it.
Do you think maybe after the lawsuit gets settled that something might change there?
I just can't imagine that after next year, if this goes the same as this year, that they will keep Riley Herbst over him. I don't care how much money Herbst has. There's no way that I would ever stick with that.
Yeah, Riley needs to find something else to do because this isn't working out. His career choice isn't working out.
Nope.
Very well.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
But do something else.
Yeah.
But mention for him, I guess I forgot to mention SVG's your rookie of the year for Cup. Connor, I said for Xfinity. And Gio Ruggiero gets the rookie of the year. I think very deserving for trucks. He ran really good this season.
Yeah.
Which means Tricon swept everything with the Drivers' Championship, Owners' Championship, Rookie of the Year, and they won 13. They won over half the races this year as a team.
Yeah.
The only other notable stuff I think I have here is that Matt Crafton got a 13th in his last race.
Ooh, did you see what he said after it? Apparently he let NASCAR have a little bit of something about how much junk they were putting on the racetrack.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you need to go back and look that up. I forget the exact stuff, but it was, he threw them under the bus pretty heavy about the junk trucks they were putting on the track. Yeah.
Well.
He saved it till he was done.
Yeah,
Been
that's smart. What are they going to do to him?
No, they're not going to keep him out of the next week's race for sure. But yeah. He turned loose on him. I was surprised.
NASCAR's trucks or Thor's trucks?
Huh? NASCAR, the way they're making them do the trucks.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just thinking because did you know that for Thor this year, with Majeski not winning and all, that's the first time that team went winless in almost 20 years?
I believe it. I know they usually do pretty well.
Yeah. But just shout out to him, and I think he will be coming back for one-off races.
Yeah, he might.
I don't know why. Because he's not competitive, but yes, whatever. Do you, but congrats on the career and enjoy retirement.
Yeah.
And
Ankrum, he said he's going to go do some dirt racing.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I think I remember that now. And Ankrum wound up 14th.
Which is a good finish for him a lot of times.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve to be in the playoff.
Yep.
With a chance of winning the championship. Can you imagine had he won it because they all wrecked up at the front on the last lap or whatever, and he somehow sneaks through and finishes 4th or 8th or 14th and just happens to beat all them guys out?
Yeah.
Good night.
Even worse than what happened to Zillish.
Yeah, that would even be worse.
NASCAR got
That's
lucky
hard to be
Friday.
much worse than that, but yeah, they got lucky there that things didn't go awry when he made that 7-wide pass.
Yeah. But I think that's about all I got mentioned in the truck race. Overall for the year, just thought it's worth mentioning. We had no rainouts for the entire season, no weather delays. Well, we had delays that put them off with 30 minutes or an hour or so, but no race in any series got moved to the next day for the first time in 31 years, I believe.
Really? Yeah.
And I remember, I don't know about you, but I feel like the last several years we've had weather problems at 50% of the races. It seems like almost every week is something happening. And so for that to go on this year, it was really nice.
Yeah, it was nice. And it's just sheer luck. But
yeah. And then on a personal note, I brought this up on one episode several months ago, and I want to re-mention it and just the miracle that somebody important might hear it. After NASCAR went an entire season without fixing their app that everybody's supposed to use that they want to engage with the sport in, which I think it works decent for you. It's mainly for me being blind. It don't read right, and I know people ain't gonna understand what I'm talking about, and I guess it don't matter to nobody else, but it matters to me. And please just fix your stuff so that I can enjoy it. I mean, it'd be nice. I mean, you're $1 billion industry. I hope you could get these things working properly. It worked last year, and every year before that has never been like this. So, just fix it, please. Because I could not see lap times or anything the entire season. All this year, all I could see is what spot everybody was in. And that really sucks when I'm trying to keep track of how far behind this guy is and who's making ground here. Because, I mean, the radio can't tell me every driver every lap, you know?
Right.
But whatever. Yellow tape takes. I think I just have one to mention here. And this is going back to the format, I guess, which is irrelevant now. But after Lane losing the tiebreaker to Honeycutt, and Lane being the second best truck for the year to Heim, and Honeycutt never having won before, do you agree or disagree that the tiebreaker in this format was the best finish in the round? Because I had never thought about it before until I heard the question. And I was like, actually, that's a great point. Why is it that way?
No, it's
I think
I definitely don't think that's the best thing, but none of it's the best.
No.
But yeah, they would have been better to have it, as who finished better in the regular season or overall in the playoffs. I don't know.
Yeah, overall points for the year or more wins. I mean, just he had 3 good races and Lane got wrecked 3 times basically, and so yeah, whatever. That's it for takes though. Do you have any you want to throw out this week or?
No, I don't guess. It's the end of the season. I think I'm gonna let it lay.
All right.
We got some shows coming up that we're gonna talk about a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, we got to do our season breakdown and all. So.
Yeah, so let's take care of those issues at that point.
Yeah. Track back. Just some news. The judge for the lawsuit dismissed NASCAR's counterclaim against the teams, meaning that the trial is now only about if NASCAR is a monopoly and not if the teams illegally conspired to work together. So, I think that's a good sign for the team side. Other news. Also, I guess we should mention they opened up NASCAR's books this past week. Have you had a chance to look at that yet?
I looked at some of that.
We want to save that for later, or we want to cover it.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe some of the people in there probably worried about all this government shutdown stuff. They might not get their, what do they call it? Their SNAP or food stamps or whatever it is now. I forget what they call it. They might be worried, huh? Not at all. No. They're living high on the hog, aren't they?
Yeah, I think NASCAR made $103 million, which I wish, again, I can't see all the pictures of the breakdown, so I think we'll do a deeper dive on this in our breakdown maybe later on, but where's the rest of the $8 billion that they signed for this TV deal? I'm curious just to see if we can find that when we look, but the main number I remember hearing is that for these charters, a team gets $141,000 a race. The entire team. While any individual player, backup, quarterback, whatever in a football game gets $6 million. An entire race team, $141,000. And that's more than the damage if that car gets wrecked. Or the damage costs more than that.
Yeah.
So, NASCAR's got to be a little worried about December now, I think. And I would guess that they are very desperate for a settlement right now.
Yeah, like I said a long time ago, way far ago when this started, there's no good outcome to this.
Yeah.
No matter who wins or who loses, there's no good outcome that I can see coming from this.
Yeah. Well, we can dive into more of the numbers later if we want to do that. But more news. NASCAR up the number. Cup drivers next year will be able to run 10 O'Reilly Auto Parts races rather than 5. And they can run 8 truck races rather than 5. And the O'Reilly Auto Part drivers cannot do the truck championship race, which, good call. I don't want them impacting that.
Yeah.
No opinion on them increasing the number, honestly. I don't know that guys beyond Ross run the full number that they're allowed right now. You don't really see anybody running the 5 that they're allowed, so.
No, not anymore. It used to be real prevalent, but
yeah,
not so much anymore.
So I don't know that was really anything worth doing, but other thing, I don't know if you saw, NASCAR is doing a docu-series on Carson Osavar, Jesse Love, and Rajah Caruth. I think another kind of Netflix deal or something following them, which I just wanted to mention. I think it's cool, something else to maybe try to bring in some eyes that don't know anything about us yet. So I just think it's cool that they're branching out and doing these kinds of things. Which are branching out. I also saw that Jimmy Johnson was going out to the Toyota Racing headquarters out in Japan or something. He was like the first American to ever do that, and that him and John Hunter and some other people were taking some NASCAR cars out there to show off and whatever. So it's cool to see what they're trying to do to grow here. I don't think any of this is stuff that can harm the sport. Just to bring in more eyes and get it more popular. I mean, that's got to be good, right?
Yeah, I would say. I don't know what the end game that they're looking for out of it, but it's got to be positive.
Yeah. Did you hear Ross is getting a new crew chief next year?
I did not.
Brandon McSwain, the engineer off of William Byron's car.
Huh.
And he's also getting a new spotter, potentially. Pretty sure. So they're resetting his team next season.
Okay.
I just found that curious. I've never even really thought about anything over there. And they're bringing in Kyle Busch's crew chief for Zillish, and
yeah.
So I think they're kind of changing their whole outlook over there, maybe trying something different. They might get a little more speed, especially if they're bringing some Hendrick guys in.
Yeah, that's good. I hope they do. I'd like to see them succeed and win a lot more races. Of course, Ross is my guy, so
yeah.
I want them to win more races, but not just the stuff that SVG's doing with the road course.
Yeah.
I want there to be some more competition for the big 3.
Yep.
And maybe they'll get pumped up well enough and be able to do that.
Yeah. Other news again. Well, this ain't really news. It's just something. We didn't have a whole lot of silly season stuff going this year. I think it was one of the quieter years, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Because so many contracts are just wrapped up and signed till next season. But
yeah, the end of next year, I think it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm giving you. Did
open.
you know next year, 22 contracts open for Cup, 17 in Xfinity? I mean, that's half or more than half the field in both series.
Right.
I think next year we're going to be losing track of how many driver changes and all that we'll be getting notices of throughout the end of next season. And I'm just excited to kind of see what might happen there, because I mean, we never know who could get moved around. So
yeah, it'll be big.
Yeah.
Or it'll just fizzle out and everybody go right back where they were, but I don't see that happening.
No, I don't think so.
You got some guys that it's time to move around, do something different.
I guess I already mentioned earlier, Justin Haley. Sorry, I got the wrong name. No, I don't. Justin Haley and Daniel Dye are now running the Colic trucks next year along with Butterbean. So we got 2 more announced.
Yeah.
Still waiting on 2, I think.
So that's supposed to be a total of 5.
Yeah. And Xfinity Colic finally formally.
Why don't they just put Heim in there for a year and let him run for him for a year? I mean, he got nothing else to do.
Can he leave Toyota? He's already been signed up with 2311.
Well, they ain't gonna give him enough to do. Let the boy run something else for a little while.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think though.
I understand being loyal to your sponsor, your team, who backs you, but my God, sit around the house and do nothing. Cause they ain't got nowhere to put you.
And Kaulig announced finally, for sure, that they are pausing the Xfinity team.
Pause. Be the key word.
Yeah. But this means for sure right now, mentioning 2 more for the trucks, Christian Eckes has no ride next year. So I will be shocked if he doesn't get one of those other 2 trucks.
Probably.
Some more stuff. Freeway Insurance signed as a premier sponsor for next season for the Cup Series. They're also going to sponsor Suarez with Spire. And just got new sponsors coming in. And one last cool thing I wanted to mention. The Cars Tour, Dale Jr.'s late model series he runs.
Yeah.
They posted their schedule for next year. And guess where they're going to race? The Nashville Fairgrounds.
Cool.
Yeah, so, hey.
Junior's got a soft spot for some of these old tracks.
I do too.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's good that you do, and that's cool or whatever. He does, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
That's what I was driving at. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get him to have a race there, but he can. Yeah,
that's what I'm excited about because he's the one that kind of brought North Wilkesboro back to life, and I'm now hoping that Nashville might be next in line.
He had a series on Netflix or something. I don't remember what it was on anyhow. He had a series on there where he was going around old tracks and showing them. And some of them were just completely dilapidated. Some of them, there was actually nothing there, but he showed where they were and talked about them. It was pretty interesting. So, yeah, you could see his passion for the old tracks and the old ways. I'm sure there's things that he wished that he'd have been around for, when his grandpa was racing and all that. And he's probably heard a million different stories about he did this or he did that at that track, and it's really piqued his interest.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Junior has to be the biggest, best historian of the sport. I mean, he's got so much information just on all the people that he interviews on his show and being in it his entire life.
Yeah.
I mean, people like Kyle Petty and Richard Petty and all, they lived it. So, I mean, they have that advantage, but Junior is just put in the work to learn so much about even the stuff that he wasn't alive for. And I just enjoy listening to it.
Got a big passion for the sport, that's for sure. And he's done a lot to help it.
Yep.
So I think his, not just what he talks, but I honestly, truthfully believe that NASCAR looks at his opinion and then thinks a lot of it because so many people do follow him.
Yeah.
And keep up with what he says and does. So I think, it carries some weight.
Yeah, I mean, they know it carries weight. He's mentioned, or even people just on his podcast platform, like the Door Bumper Clear and stuff like that, have said that they get calls from NASCAR whenever they've upset them about something they might have said, because they're like, people listen to y'all can't. You have to be mindful of putting out.
No, you don't. You have to tell the truth. That's what you have to do. You have to tell the truth. Don't worry about whose feelings you hurt. If they don't like it, it's not trying to shut them down. It's trying to say what we don't like or the parts we think should be different about it. That's all. It's not saying look here, we're going to watch the races. All the hardcore fans are going to watch. So you might see this crap online. Oh, I'll never watch NASCAR again. Well, you never should have watched it to begin with. Just because it ain't exactly what you want. That's like saying, I ain't coming back. How many times have you been at a dirt track with me? I ain't never racing here again. Oh, bull crap.
I'm not coming back again again until next Friday.
See you next week.
Yeah.
You either love it or you don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we've said a million times, and they've said it on their shows. I heard this past week, just yesterday actually, on the Teardown with Jeff Gluck. He said every one of us is just trying to say what we think can help this sport.
That's all. Just
improve.
opinions.
I don't think that Dale Jr. is trying to be some crazy like government ran organization and has Formula One insiders on his payroll trying to bring down NASCAR to take over.
Hey, that's what we'll do. We'll just be junior robots.
Yeah.
Whatever Junior says, we agree.
Yeah. But
no, man, we all got our own opinions. You and I don't agree a lot of times.
Yep.
It's an opinion.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got.
That quick, you done?
Yeah.
We only been at it. Let me see what that thing says. An hour and 42 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's our longest one of the year.
Oh, well.
But,
Nope.
I mean, it was
We're coming back with more. We're going to have a lot of interesting shows. We got some new ideas that we want to do during the off season, so we hope everybody comes back and watch. We're going to come up with a whole lot of questions in some of these shows about what you think about maybe who was your favorite driver ever, or who was the most underrated driver.
Yeah.
Who should have been with what team? Why did, a lot of questions, and maybe y'all guys can speak up and tell us what you think about it. That's our plan during the off season, is to have some interesting shows, maybe come up with one show that's just about what should all the rules changes, what would be the craziest rule change you can come up with.
Yeah.
We're just going to do a whole bunch of different segments in these shows, but we're still going to be here during the off season. We hope you come watch us.
Yeah, we're thinking probably, just so you have kind of an idea here, probably do the season breakdown just to recap the whole year, and then
and that'll be next week, right? That's what you want to do next week.
I don't know. We might take a week off and then come back.
Okay.
We'll see. Kind of looking to maybe try to do a show every 2 weeks for now, just so we can also have a little bit of an off. But anyway, first will probably be the season breakdown, and then this is the part that Frank's kind of talking to you about. We're going to probably try to do some kind of our personal award show where we come up with all these different kinds of categories and nominees, and then we'll say, all right, we'll have to agree on this driver wins this year for the best to not be in a good car, or the worst to be in a good car. I mean, just stuff like that. Best on restarts, who we thought the most aggressive was for the year, just whatever. So, if you happen to see this, please, if you have any categories that you think might be interesting, comment them so that we can put them in. And
yeah, help us out a little bit.
Yeah, we won't any we can think of. We just want to have fun with it. So anything you can think of, I don't know, funniest driver of the year, just whatever you might think would be interesting to throw at us, just leave it, and well, I think that'll be a fun
Who you
show.
want to have an ice cream with? Anything, yeah, just throw something out there.
Yeah, so
we'll try to put it in and come up with our vote, see what your vote is as well.
Yep. So we will see you in a week or two. Shouldn't be any more than 2 weeks, and let us know what you thought about all this championship stuff and anything that's on your mind. And we'll see you then.
Zulich is a real champ.